Welcome back to CanHammer Tactics. Tonight's episode, screening against melee. Welcome back to CanHammer, everybody, your source for 40k from the Great White North, and this is a tactics video on screening against the melee attack. As you remember, last time we covered screening against deep striking shooting attacks. Now we're going to talk about melee attacks. So the principles are the same, but generally, the one extra thing you have to think about when you're dealing with melee is a number of things. First of all, they get a charge move. So they get to move up to 12 inches from where they are towards you. And we will be covering using your charge move in a different video on the other side of this coin. But as the defender, you got to keep that in mind. So these gene stealers here that are attacking our guardsmen and our shadow sword, if they roll a 12, they can get all the way back here and easily get into contact with the shadow sword. Now, we're not necessarily going to cover protecting against that. Generally, you just have to make sure you're far enough away or wrap your thing efficiently. What I want to point out to you today in the tip is the other two movements in combat. So combat involves a lot of movement. First of all, you get to charge up to 12 inches. Then you get a 3-inch pile-in move, which is only restricted by that you have to move closer to the closest enemy model. And then finally, if you kill what it is that you're attacking, you get another 3-inch consolidate move towards the closest enemy model. So that is key. So we're going to go over the scenario here. So these gene stealers are in the charge phase. They declared an assault on these guardsmen that are valiantly attempting to shield this shadow sword. Now, the gene stealers don't need to attack the shadow sword. They're probably not going to kill it. They just need to tie it up so it can't shoot. Okay, and so they don't want to declare the shadow sword as one of their targets because they would end up taking all this overwatch fire and probably die. So all they need to do is somehow get within 1 inch of the shadow sword and tie it up, and that shadow sword becomes useless. So what they're going to do is, they declare the charge against the guardsmen. Lasguns do no damage. They roll their charge. Let's say they roll let's say they roll a 6. So they get into combat here. Okay? Here we go. And remember, we're not talking about the attacker tactics today. That'll be a separate video. We're just talking about a basic mistake that even I have made many times playing 8th edition, of forgetting this part of the combat. So now the gene stealers have made it into contact with the guardsmen. Okay, combat ensues. Gene stealers wipe the guardsmen from the face of the planet because that's what gene stealers do. Okay, against lowly guardsmen. All right, so all the guardsmen are dead, and after they die, the gene stealers get a 3-inch consolidation move at the end of their fight phase towards the closest enemy model, which is the poor shadow sword. So look at that. Boom, 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 boom. And now your shadow sword, who thought he was safe behind a wall of guardsmen, is now tied up, probably for the rest of the game. So that is key. So how would you screen against that better? Well, let's set it up. Okay, if you know you're going to get hit in combat and you want to screen something behind you, you got to set your screen at least more than 3 inches away from whatever this is behind you so that they will not get tied up by the consolidation move. Okay, so that's what the guardsmen have set up further up now, and so now when they all die to these gene stealers, 3 inches does not get them within 1 inch of the shadow sword, and then shadow sword can kill them all next turn. Okay, now you should probably give yourself a little bit more than 3 inches, because if they charge and they end up behind you here, okay, like this, and then they consolidate, that extra 1/2 inch that they've gained just by being behind you might be enough. Okay, so generally you want to give yourself 4, 5, even 6 inches of distance between your anti-assault screen line and whatever it is that you don't want to get assaulted. Okay, and then you're generally safe from things like gene stealers. So let's go through another example. Some units, for example, Corn Berserkers or some factions that have stratagems that allow you to give a unit another fight phase, to activate again, to fight again. That means they're going to get another pile in and another consolidation, even if they don't end up fighting anything. So in those cases, it's even more key to move your screen even further back. Okay, so Khorne Berserkers are famous for this. They'll come in, they'll kill whatever screen is, and then they take another activation and then another activation, and they just keep getting free moves towards you. So you have to set your screen way in advance. So that is key. You have to know what it is that's going to be hitting you, what abilities they have, to maybe go more than one time and set your screen appropriately. If you do that, it's fairly easy to screen against the assault. Now, once these guardsmen are dead, you better make sure you can kill them, or else the end result is the same. But it still buys you some time. You could escape or kill them or whatever. So that is key to do that with your screening when you're screening against melee. All right, well, thanks very much for watching, everybody. Any other things that you want to see here on the tactics video, please leave it in the comments below. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and consider supporting us on Patreon. Until next time, see you next time.